what are we cooking today? Well, today we're going to do tacos. So, a couple days ago, we had a meal called chicken bog. I'll teach you guys how to make that in a later episode. And we didn't use the whole chicken, we cut it in half. And saved it. Now, when you cook chicken and you're trying to lose weight, one of the most important things you hear is, take the skin off. Take the skin off. Skin is bad for you. Take the skin off. Well, the cool thing about chicken bog is it recommends you take the skin off anyways. So, I took the skin off. Now, most people would throw their chicken skin away. Don't throw your chicken skin away. Don't do it. It's delicious. It's amazing. And I'm going to show you how to turn chicken skin into bacon. But not today. Today, we're going to make chicken tacos. You see, this, on the other hand, is chicken breast. Chicken breast is healthy. It's not a chicken thigh, which is my favorite piece, but it's chicken. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take this chicken breast and we are going to put it in the oven and let it cook. Flavor. You don't have to use the oven. You can use the stove or you can use the grill. But what we're going to end up with is chicken tacos with garlic and lime tortillas. So, my favorite thing to do is use olive oil spray instead of olive oil. Now, the cool thing about the olive oil spray, it's less messy, which means less dishes. Less dishes means less time doing dishes. Take your olive oil, you pick up your chicken breast, and spray your chicken breast. What's your favorite flavors? Do you like Mexican flavors? You do, try some cumin or some oregano. Oregano is used a lot in Mexican and in Italian. It's not just an Italian flavor anymore, folks. So, what we're going to do is I have wonderful flavors here from a company called The Spice House. And we are going to create a little herb chicken. I like rosemary. We're going to take some rosemary and put it on the chicken. You know? Then I'm going to get a little chili powder because we're going to make it spicy. Now, I'm going to teach you something. A little chili powder goes a long way. Just because you like it spicy doesn't mean to add more chili powder. Add a different spice. Don't add more chili powder. You say, Terika, wait up. What if I don't have rosemary or chili powder? Well, I already told you. Use whatever herb you have. Use whatever you want. And if you don't have chili powder, that's fine too. There's cayenne, even some paprikas are spicy. If you don't like spice, just put a little salt and pepper. It's really just that simple. Another thing I use in my kitchen a lot is garlic. Now, in the introduction I told you about some staples that you should have in your kitchen. Garlic, salt, and pepper are 3 of them. Even if you have no other herbs or spices, please, please, please have garlic, salt, and pepper. If you don't have garlic, onions. Keep onions in your kitchen as well. Garlic and onions. Write that down. Keep those in your kitchen. You can create flavor with anything with garlic and onions. So behind me, I have my drawers of spices. Most people keep silverware in their drawers. I keep more spices in my drawers. Now, you're going to say, it's a lot easy not to go to the store when you have all those spices. It is. But when you use spices, guess what happens? You run out. See? Sometimes you run out. That's ginger. I like ginger. It's not a staple, but I like ginger. So what happens when I run out of ginger? So let's say I had no more ginger. Oops, Ginger's gone. What are we gonna do now? Well, awesome about that is I keep curry powder. See? Curry powder. So we're really just gonna put a little tiny bit on there. And we've got our chicken. Now, when we put it into this pan, what we're gonna do, make sure it's sitting on top of something so that the juices fall down to the bottom of the pan. And you're gonna end up using the juices, then you're gonna end up using the juices to baste. Terika, I don't have a rack to put my chicken on. I got you. Do you have squash? Do you have carrots? Do you have celery? Do you have onions? Do you have anything like that? You do? Fantastic. This is what we're going to do. Cut the ends off here. And then we're going to cut it in half. So we're going to use our trusty olive oil spray. That bottom of this pan. Now, okay. And then I usually, for vegetables, they have so much flavor on their own. What's great is you just use a little bit of salt and pepper on them, and they take on a life of their own. Oh, ground pepper is great. You know, grind your own pepper with a nice little pepper grinder, right? But mine's not working. So instead, we will use pure ground black pepper. Don't have it. Use garlic. Pepper, salt, garlic. You can buy all of those at the store for less than $5. We're going to take our pretty chicken. Look at that pretty chicken. Do you see that pretty chicken? I see that pretty chicken. And you're going to put it on top of these vegetables. Okay. Hands washed, hands dried. The oven is preheated to 375. And we're going to go throw our chicken in there. Okay. Chicken's in the oven. Now, we need to make some tortillas. Now, what we're going to do is make flour tortillas with garlic and lime. What we're going to do is we're going to put some flour in the bowl. Now, I'm not a health nut, but I do like to try and make things healthier when I can. Not everybody out there is going to have whole wheat flour. But almost everybody has some flour. Staple. Have some flour in your kitchen. Because I like to make my tortillas from scratch. I like to use half wheat and half white. Now, you can use all wheat or you can use all white. It really doesn't matter. But if you use all wheat, then they tend to get a little dry. So, half wheat, half white. Now, I don't care if you use a beer mug to measure it out. Just try and do equal amounts of both. So, for your own knowledge, I did a cup of wheat and a cup of white. Now, seasoning. I don't like a lot of salt. I like to be able to taste something besides salty. So, I put a pinch of salt. Then, now, this is where you can get creative. Like I said, I'm doing garlic and lime. You can pretty much do anything you want. Now, I want to tell you something. You can use as many ingredients as you want, but it's best to only use 2. So, right now I know I'm going to need some warm water to make this into a dough, because it doesn't go poof dough. I have this little teapot over here. It's electric. I love my teapot. You can use a pan, you can use a microwave, you can use hot water from the spigot if you want to. I like this. This is my friend. Now I'm going to take my garlic and use a lot of garlic. You can use a little garlic. I like to use just a little bit. Now, this is one of those dishes powdered garlic. Doesn't really matter. As far as the lime goes, use a lot. Use as much as you want. I like a lot of lime. I like to taste it. I like to feel the tartness. Yeah. Okay. Now that I've, stopped going lime crazy, what happens if you don't have lime juice and you still want to do this recipe? Use lemon juice. It's just about the same. Now a lot of people go, well, if you say just about this and just about that and just about this, don't you have something else? Make a flour tortilla and call it a cupcake if you want, and it's still delicious. What I need to do next is actually add lard. Now, I don't expect everybody to have lard in their cupboard. In fact, I didn't have lard in my cupboard until I started making tortillas. So, a good substitute for lard is shortening. I suggest you have shortening in your cupboard. How much lard do you use? How much shortening do you use? This is how I judge the whole lard, shortening. Cut it up. And you're like, lard? Cut it up. Yes, please, cut it up. Make it a lot easier for you for this next task. Cut it up into pea-sized balls. I'm not telling you to pick up each little piece of shortening and make it into a little ball. I'm just telling you to make it small. So we have little pieces of shortening. We're going to put it in the flour. Now, a lot of people use food processors for this next part. If you have a pastry cutter, use that. I unfortunately have neither. Instead, this is my new food processor. It's called a fork. So the reason why you're putting these in small pieces is because you're going to have to go through this flour and basically mesh food shortening and the flour together. A lot of people say cornmeal mixture. Well, the first time I read that, it didn't make any sense to me. Another thing for you to know, it's easier for you to work with the shortening and lard and butter if it's cold. So as you push the stuff, because the fork it's doing is you push it down, it's going to go against the bowl, it's going to scrape together, it's going to mesh together. The flour is going to stick to the shortening, it's going to create little tiny clusters. So if you look here, you're going to see how it's starting to clump. You see this here? It's starting to clump instead of just be all powder. Okay? So keep going for a little while till you start seeing those clumps be a little bit smaller. They're not going to be completely all the way gone. When you see that you still have quite a bit more powder, add a little bit more lard. So my food's actually looking really good. I'm going to need a little bit more lard. Not a lot. So something you can do if you use lard or shortening instead of butter is add a little bit of butter to it. It creates a little more smoother taste, but I like it. And you know what's important? You like it, do it. So another good staple to keep in your house is unsalted butter. This is why. A lot of ingredients already have salt in them. If you add salted butter to something that already has salt in it, you're really just going to create more salt. So as far as the butter goes, just treat it the same way you did the other ingredients. Cut it up, make it into smaller pieces, knead it into the flour a little bit, and you're good to go. Okay. Why don't you take a look at that? You see that? See how it's a lot more clumpy? There's a little regular powder in there too, and that's completely fine. But it's clumpier, and that's what you want. So now, let's go check on your chicken. Okay, so your chicken isn't going to be done. And this is where we come up with our very first issue. So, I'm looking at my chicken in the pan. There should be some juice down there. Some juice, grease, something should be down there. Mine's empty. Mine's bone dry. And that's okay. Take a look at my chicken so far. Yummy. See that? It's not cooked all the way, right? Definitely not. And that's fine. That's what we expected. So what we're gonna do though is, because it needs to be basted with something, in my refrigerator I usually keep some chicken broth. You go, Terika, you keep a lot of things in your kitchen. How can you tell us to make it work when you keep a lot of things in your kitchen? This is why I keep a lot of things in my kitchen. It ain't creating any grease. How am I gonna baste it? What am I gonna do? Chicken broth. Now, here's the thing. You can make your own chicken broth. Take some chicken, take some veggies, take some water and some seasoning, put it all together and let that soak in a big pot for a couple hours. Pull out the chicken, take out the actual chicken and the bones and the skin and everything else. What's left is chicken broth. It's really that easy. Or you can go to the store and buy chicken broth. Terika, what if we don't have chicken broth? It's okay. I've got this. Get some water. Right here, already hot. And we're gonna add some powdered seasoning in here. I like to use a good Italian seasoning. Helps with the broth. Raw. A little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, basic things. Now something I'm gonna do to jazz this up for y'all is I'm gonna add a little bit of maple in this. Go ahead, say it. Maple. Have you lost your mind? Maple? Let me tell you. I love maple. I love maple so much. It goes on just about everything. You don't have to use it. Now the reason behind the maple is, you notice you put a lot of spices on top. This is going to add a little bit of sweetness into that. So we're going to use the back of the fork that we used to mash the flour into. Just stir it up just a little bit. And we're going to pour it on top of this chicken. Yes, that's a baby bowl. Make it work. Now we're going to throw this chicken back in the oven. Okay, shake your flour. Put it out on a board, an iron board, your cutting board, your counter, it's clean, your table. So what you're going to do is add a little bit more water, just a little at a time. You make a mess, it's okay. It cleans up. So, Terika, how do you make it work when you have kids in the house and they're running around and trying to cook? Well, a lot of the time, I tell them to go do their homework. Or, if you're my 1-year-old, he likes to get up in his high chair and watch mommy cook. Right now, he's eating gummies and watching mommy cook. So, you're going to keep rolling this dough over and over into itself. It's going to be sticky. Now the goal is to take all this loose powder that you have and incorporate it into the dough. Sometimes, because it's wet, it'll stick to the board. A lot of people say, should have put flour down first. Well, hindsight is foresight, right? Foresight is hindsight, however that saying goes. If it's still a little crumbly, you can do one of two things. You can add more lime, or whatever liquid you want to add to it for some flavor, or you can add a little bit more water. Another good thing you can do is add some of that chicken stock that you have. Now remember, all you need is a little bit of liquid. A little bit of liquid will go a long way. If you add too much, you're going to have to add more flour. And that would be backtracking, and it would take longer. And that kind of defeats the purpose. So we have a slightly sticky ball. I'm going to take some plastic wrap. Terika, I don't have plastic wrap. Take a plastic bag. Wrap it up. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. So let's go check on that chicken. Got some chicken. It's not done yet. See? Still red on the bottom. But it's got some nice juice going around it. Let's look at it good. tip the pan up a little bit. You'll see some juice collect off the sides. What you're going to want to do is take a spoon. There's no what ifs here. You have a spoon. Get a spoon. I'm even using a measuring spoon. And scoop the juice back up over the chicken. I'm going to put that back in the oven. What we're going to do is make some slaw. You ready to have some fun with this? Because I am. Take some cabbage out of your fridge. I know you don't have cabbage. I know. Take some apples. You don't have apples? That's cool. That's fine. Take some fried onions. Don't have fried onions? It's okay. The point is, you need something that's a little bit stiff that will soak up some flavor. Start off with my cabbage. Now, I made some mistakes last time. And I put too much cabbage. My family had cabbage for a week, and we still couldn't eat all the cabbage. So tear these extra leaves off. Nice little bottom out. You don't need that. Cut in half. Did you cut it in half? Good. Cut in half again. That's how much slaw you need. You're going to have a little bit of that heart still in there. Cut that out. Cabbage. Now you can really use whatever cabbage you want. You can use regular cabbage, red cabbage. So we're going to chop it up into strips. See? The strips, they look like a book. See? And then we're going to chop them into little tiny pieces too. You can leave them in strips, that would be fine. But I cut mine into pieces. So, this is where you can add apples, you can add carrots, you can add any kind of pear, any kind of more fruity fruit, something that's a little bit harder. We're going to use carrots. I know carrots aren't a fruit, but we're going to use carrots. Going to cut the ends off both sides. You can cut the skins off and peel them if you want to. It's not necessary. In culinary school, they tell you to make all your cuts uniform and even. I would recommend that for better flavor. What you're going to need to do is cut these in half long ways, because then we're going to shred them. Terika, I don't have a shredder. Well, how about a food processor? How about a knife? You have one of those things? And you can do this. So because some of you may not have a shredder, I'm going to show you how to do this with a knife. Look at this. Nice and thin, right? You can put them in just like that. Throw them in your slaw. Or have a knife shredder. $2. Dollar at some dollar stores. Now if you use a shredder, I want to tell you to be careful. You can shred your knuckle off into your food, and nobody's going to want to eat that unless you're Hannibal Lecter. Okay. So mix those carrots and that cabbage together. We're going to throw just a tad of garlic in there. Don't hate me. I like garlic in my food. You should be able to start to smell that chicken now. you to get an orange, and I want you to get a sweet onion. Orange, sweet onion. So something that can happen if you have a cupboard where you store things like oranges, onions, potatoes, things like that, is sometimes they can have soft spots or rotten spots. For things like onions and potatoes, you could really just cut around them and still use them. Cut the top and bottom off the onion, peel it. We're going to dice it up a little bit. Simple fact, if you don't like onions, don't use them. The cool thing though is if you use sweet onions, taste a heck of a lot better than regular onions, and they don't make your eyes cry. Throw that in your slaw as well. Cool thing about slaw is usually it can soak up just about any kind of fruit, veggie. Some people even put potatoes in theirs. The only potato I'd put in is maybe sweet potato. Orange. This is where it starts to get fun. Most people are not going to have this handy little doodad. It's my zester. I have a zester. Zest your orange. You don't have an orange? That's cool. Use a lime. Use a lemon. Use a grapefruit. We're really just trying to get a little bit of citrus in there. Now, until about 3 months ago, I had no idea how to zest something correctly. I would get a lot of that white pulp in there because I would dig it too hard, and that doesn't work, folks. That pulp ends up tasting bitter in your food. Now, if you don't have a zester, take a sharp knife and cut a piece of your peel off. Be really careful that you don't cut yourself. Don't cut all the way down to the orange, just the top. Just a little tiny bit, okay? And you can cut that into strips. And then the teeny tiny little bits. Mince that up cutesy box tiny. And throw that in your slaw as well. So now we're going to take this orange and we're going to actually put that in the slaw. Well, the orange, don't actually do the whole orange. If you have a lemon or a lime, do the whole thing. Although if you have a lemon or a lime, we're going to do a separate step, okay? You don't want it too tart. That's the cool thing about using oranges. If you don't have an orange and you use a lemon or a lime instead, or grapefruit, I suggest putting just a little bit of the juice from it and then adding some pineapple juice. Pineapple juice will ensure it doesn't get too sour. You could use a juicer to do this, but it's not half as fun. If you've had a bad date, the juices come out. Try to make sure you don't get any seeds from the oranges in there. When I use apple for slaw, I actually like to use a little bit of the apple juice instead. I still zest my citrus, but I like to use the apple juice. Keep flavors consistent, you know? Okay, you should have a nice little liquid going on in there. Guess what? Go check it. Check your chicken. Chicken looks to be done. Let's check it out, shall we? little more pink on the bottom. Now it's chicken breast, okay? So you're gonna need to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Don't serve raw chicken to anybody. That's nice. Okay, so if you cut into the middle of it and you see some juices run out, that's fine. In fact, that means it's extremely tasty. Look at that. No pink. Yeah. Beautiful. And our chicken is done. So we're going to set that to the side for right now. But we're going to need to add a little bit of vinegar to this, a little bit of sweetness, and then we're going to add some Greek yogurt as well. You can really add whatever vinegar you want. If you like a more vinegar-based slaw, go ahead and use it. More vinegar. I prefer the apple cider vinegar. It's not quite as harsh. If you don't have vinegar, a good thing that you can use instead is ginger ale. Okay, I'm gonna need to add a little bit of sugar to that. Sometimes sugar might clump. Just get in there and mesh it up. You don't want to get just a mouthful of sugar later on. If you do like sweeter coleslaw, don't use a lot of sugar. Just sprinkle it on top. It'll be plenty, I promise. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about the mistake I recently made. We have Greek vanilla yogurt and Greek plain yogurt. The store was out of Greek regular yogurt, so I used the vanilla. Not the smartest idea I've had. The vanilla yogurts have a sweeter taste to them, adding in the sweet and the sweet and the sweet, and it was just too much. So a lot of times you might want to add mayonnaise, you can use ranch, you can use sour cream. Either way, you need just a little bit of a creamy base to this. I take a heaping tablespoon and I put it in there and I mix it up. Should be able to see just a little bit of creaminess to it. If you can't, add one more tablespoon. Can't, you've got enough. I'm going to add 2. So sometimes it'll be kind of liquidy on the bottom because you added a lot of juice. That's okay. And we're going to cover it and put it into the fridge, and that juice is going to soak in to that cabbage. You get this sudden urge to add some spices to it. Yay! You're doing something right. Okay.
Give us bread that's round and flat and covered in sausage, cheese, and toppings. Put it in a box and cut it into minor sector circles so it's easier for us to eat. We love to eat pizza. We love to eat pizza. Think about that self. Would you anything?
Welcome back. Is everybody ready to finish up dinner? I know I am. First thing I want you to do is get your tortillas, bread, out of the refrigerator. I want you to flour a surface. I've already floured this cutting board right here. I want you to tear off a piece about the size of a golf ball. Roll it up, and you're gonna press it with your hands. If you have a tortilla press, even better. Most people don't. Now this is where we get creative. If you ever rolling, I have 2, but you can use a glass, you can use a like using my grill. You're gonna want to turn that on. Nice flat tortilla. Yeah, tortilla. So you're gonna roll out a couple of these. Okay, so my grill's starting to get red. I'm gonna throw these on here. Keep in mind, it doesn't take long, okay? I have this really cool tortilla holder that I'm gonna put mine in. And if you don't have one, you can use a clean dish towel. Don't use a nice flannel towel because sometimes the fabric comes off, but use a nice dish towel. So watch these carefully. They cook fast. If you overcook them, it's okay. They're really good to eat just like they are with the toppings on top. Really delicious. You can even break them up, put it into a salad. And they're done. Look at that. So you don't have to use a grill to make the tortillas. You can actually do them in a flat fry pan as well. You can do them over a griddle. You can even do them in the oven. To be honest, I like using the grill because it's kind of cool. When you start to see them bubble, move them over. Good sign that they're ready to do that. Kind of like with pancakes. You ever make pancakes and you see the little bubbles in them? You usually know that's when it's stiff enough to turn it over. Okay. So we're going to take the last two tortillas off of this grill. It's so good. The thing we're going to do is we're going to get the chicken off the chicken breast bone, put it in this pan with a little bit of barbecue sauce, and make it nice and warm. Use your hands. It's a tool. Okay. Chicken in a pan. So I have a barbecue sauce that I like to use. If you don't have barbecue sauce, you can use anything else you want. Just create a little moisture into that. You can use Worcestershire sauce. You can use soy sauce even. You can use mustard. A nice sweet hot mustard would be tasty. So put your pan on medium to medium high. Take a good 1 to 2 tablespoons depending on how big your chicken breast is. Just put some in there. How saucy do you like your meat? And you're going to mix it up. So you're going to keep it in that pan just until it gets nice and warm. Even hot. I like mine hot. Let's get a plate out. Get your cooked tortillas. Yummy, yummy. What's great about these tortillas is you can make them ahead of time, freeze them, whatever you want to do, and they're really great for sandwich wraps. So get that slaw back out. Put it on top of your chicken. Adds that nice little crunchy element. Look at that taco. Look at it. You know you want to eat it. It's delicious. Wrap up this slaw and put it back in the fridge. So when I have it, my favorite cheese to use is feta. I don't have any right now, so instead we're going to throw a little bit of Mexican cheese on it. So you might be wondering what I should do with the veggies out of the pan, right? Is leave them there? No. So for this last part, we're going to take that squash and we're going to make it into a really yummy side to go with these tacos. So I want you to take 2 of your squash, or onions, or celery, or whatever. You get the point. I want you to take some tomato. Now I usually cut the inside out. To tell you the truth, there's no secret to not getting yourself covered in juice and tomato seeds. Take about 1/4 of it. Dice it up. About a handful of it on top. Take an avocado. Avocado, staple, must have. Love avocado. When you get an avocado, you want to make sure it's just slightly squishy. If it's hard as a rock, it's going to be really hard to peel. Looks like this one's going to be a little hard to peel. If that's the case, it's better to almost cut off the peel like you would a potato. Take about 1/4 of it. Avocados are what we call a healthy fat. Dice it up. Throw it on top. You have almost a salad. What I like to do on top of that is throw a little hot sauce on it. And now you have a wonderful, homemade, make it work taco dinner. So, learned a lot of things today. A lot of fun. Basically,